Hello game design students. I'm making a quick video here to show you how to create a basic heads-up display or a HUD for your games. What a heads-up display is it's when you have anything, any sort of items on the screen that as you move, they stay on the screen as if they were kind of attached to your head, right? It's your heads-up display. Think as if you were like Iron Man with the whole helmet on, and he's got all his little displays. That's kind of what your heads-up display is, and it's a pretty common thing in video games. And as I get started on this, I think you'll recognize it. But it's a really good way for you to give information to the players on their score, the health of their player character, or any other kind of pertinent information for the game. So I have open here, you can see, this is just the guided tour. So if you remember right, you should have done this already. If you haven't, you can just go redo the guided tour, and it should take you less than 5 minutes to kind of get to this point. But we're going to add some things to this guided tour game here, just to give it a little more content and a little more information to our player as they play. So the very first thing we need to do, right now this game only has one layer, and that's the platform layer. And we don't want to make any changes to this right now. So we're just going to click that lock button right there and lock that up. The next thing you need to do is add a layer at the top. And I'm just going to call this HUD, which is just the acronym for Heads Up Display. And I need to make a few changes to this. So I need to make sure I have my HUD layer selected, and I just need to go to my parallax here, and I just need to make it 0 by 0. Okay? And what this means, right, if my parallax is 0, 0, is as I move my player character around, the background behind him will move, but the actual stuff that is on this heads-up display layer won't move. It'll stay in your view. The first thing we want to do is we want to add something to this HUD layer here, and we're just going to add a little score tracker. So every time you touch a tomato, we're going to add a score. So the first thing we need to do is actually add in a text object, and we just search, text, make sure to type it right, unlike me. Text, I'm just going to put it up here in the top right. I'm going to kind of position it here. Okay, so it's in the top right of our viewport. And your viewport, you can see, are these dashed lines. This is what you're actually seeing when you're in the game. And I'm going to name this score text. Make sure to give it a descriptive name. And then I just need to edit a few things here. Okay, my text, by default, we're just going to start at 0. Okay, font, I don't really care what font you choose. You can choose any of these. I might do, let's go Broadway. That one looks funny enough. I want to change the size to be quite a bit bigger so it's easier to see. 30 should be plenty. And color, I'm going to make it red since that's what we're doing for the tomatoes. Okay, and so let me click on my score text and just make sure my stuff's here. I'm going to center it, and I'm going to center it vertically as well. Okay, so just some settings there for you to kind of make this look nice. Okay. The next thing I need to do is I'm actually going to have to lock my HUD layer and unlock. Actually, I don't need to do that. We can just do this on the player, on the HUD layer. Let me click my score text again, and I need to add in an instance variable. Now, you've used instance variables, for example, in the more advanced 2D platformer to track which way your player was facing. In this case, we're going to have an instance variable, and it's just going to be a number, and we're going to describe it as score. Okay, and we're going to make it 0 to start. Easy money. Okay, now we need to switch over to our event sheet, and every time, you can see we already have on our event sheet, every time the player collides with the tomato, it destroys the tomato. What we need to do now is we need to add an action. That action is going to be to take our score text, and we're going to set the value of an instance variable, and in this case it's going to be the score, and we need to set it to score text, let's type it right, so score text dot score, okay, plus 1, right? So you need to set your score to score text dot score plus 1. Now, watch what happens when I do this. I start it up, I have my score there in the top right, and you notice as I move around, it stays in the top right. But if I hit a tomato, it doesn't update. Okay. Now, is it tracking my score? It sure is. Okay. But now, we need to add in an event to actually update the score text. So when we collide with the tomato, we're going to destroy. We're going to set the score text score to 1. Now we're going to set the score text set text to score text dot score. Okay. So we're updating the score, and then we're updating the text. Let's try this again. There it is. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I fell off the side. Man. Oh no. Okay. Now, let's add in a health bar. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to double click, and we're going to add in a health bar here. So we're going to search progress bar, which is right here. We're going to add it up. This one's going to be in the top left, and I can make it kind of big. And instead of progress bar, I'm going to call it health bar. Okay. And I'm going to do a similar thing here to this health bar. I'm going to add an instance variable, and I'm going to call it health. And instead of my initial value being 0, I'm going to make my initial value 5. I think that's pretty fair. It might even be a little high. Okay. Now, what we need to do now is we need to add an event and system, and we're going to go to every tick. And what every tick means is that every time the frame updates, which is 30 to 60 times per second, depending on how fast your computer's running, it's going to update that value. So what we're going to do is every tick, we're going to add an action. We're going to take health bar, and we're going to set progress. And that progress is going to be set to health bar dot health. Okay. So every tick, we take our health bar right up here in the top, and it's going to be updated to whatever our health number is. Now, how does our health go down? Well, this is how. We're going to add an event, okay, and we're going to go to player, and we're going to go to, I got to find here exactly what it is, right here, on size and position, and if it is outside the layout, meaning we leave from the side or he falls through the bottom, we're going to add an action. And the first action we're going to do is we're going to go to our health bar, and we need to set our value. Okay, and we need to set the value of our health to health bar dot health minus 1. That's all. So we take that value, health bar dot health minus 1, and we just subtract 1. And then, as soon as it updates, it's going to set our progress, okay, to minus 1. The next thing we need to do is we need to take our player and we need to reposition him, right? Our player's outside the layout, so as soon as we subtract that 1, we need to put our player back where they go. So to do this, we're going to go back to our layout, okay? We're going to lock up our HUD layer, and we're going to actually unlock our platforms layer, and we're just going to click on our player here. And we need to look at our player's position. Our player's position is 427, 280. Okay, so 427, 280. So I'm going to go to my event sheet. I'm going to add an action, select my player, and I'm going to set position. And all I'm going to go here is I'm going to type 427, 280. Okay, and click done. Now let's test this out. What should happen is if my player character leaves the layout, meaning I jump through the side or you fall through the bottom, okay, I should reposition to right here, and I should lose 1 on my health bar. So let's start it. Okay. Let's see what happens. Our score update's nice. Let's fall through the side. Okay. It looks like it worked. And we fall down. Now you can see here, my health bar is pretty low. And every time I fall through, it does get the tiniest bit lower. But you might be asking, okay, well, why isn't it just starting at 5? And that is because we actually need to adjust one thing. So I'm locking my platforms layer, unlocking my HUD layer, selecting my health bar, and I need to go here to my properties, and I need to actually set my maximum to 5. Okay, that's something I forgot to do earlier. Because my maximum health is 5, I need to set my maximum actual number to 5. So if I start this up after I've fixed that, you see now I have a full health bar. And if I fall off the side, ooh, I lose 1/5 of my life. And if I jump out the side, oh man, I lost another 1/5 of my life. Jump off the side, oh man, here we go. Jump out. Now, what's going to happen when I jump out for the last time? Nothing, right? We haven't programmed that far into the game, and that's not something we're going to worry about right now. There's going to be more videos on how to do a start and end screen as you get a little more advanced. But right here, you've created a heads-up display, okay, to track your score and to track your health. And that heads-up display moves along with you as you play this simple game. And using these principles, you can add a heads-up display to basically any game you've created or that you're going to create. And it's very useful. It's something that just gives your game a little bit more polish, makes it look a little more advanced. So yeah, hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.